when people say that archaeology is like artifacts, I kind of like saying that it's kind of like saying that astronomy is all about telescopes. You know, the telescopes give the astronomers the data they need to study the heavens, but it's not their purpose to study the telescopes, right? You know, the whole idea of archaeology is not the artifacts, but rather what the artifacts can tell us about past people and past history. So, you know, really it's not about the artifacts, it's about the context in which they're found and what it can tell us about the culture. Well, and it's really fascinating. I think the time in which James Arnold lived and also his love of horticulture. One of the first features we ever uncovered was one of the original garden paths that used to snake through the property. So seeing the garden paths, seeing, you know, we uncovered right next to that garden path, we uncovered a fragment of a broken 19th century oyster fork. It's easy to imagine people walking through the garden, sitting down with their fork, eating a tin of oysters. Oh, this broke. You know, throw it down, that sort of thing.
Pipe stem, nails, glass, ceramics, same thing as most other people. That house is kind of like all-encompassing when it comes to New Bedford history, at least at that period in time in the early 1800s. Yeah, I mean, the work has been fun. It's been interesting to, you know, learn the process, and because, you know, we're in the class, we learn it all in theory, but to put it into practice, it clicks a lot of things together, which is good. Yeah, because, I mean, even though I don't live far from here, it's just you never know, like, what happens around your home.
It depends on how much you're finding and how deep down it is, because obviously the farther down you go, there's less artifacts and more rocks, so there's less paperwork and more shoveling at that point. A lot of nails right now, nails and coal. Yep, so it shows evidence of probably construction that was going on. They did renovations to this house in the early 1900s, so they're suspecting it might have something to do with that, being that it's only like 15 centimeters down right now, which is pretty shallow. Realizing how much stuff is not that far down in our dirt where we're coming across it, to find a historical site like this, there could be a lot of evidence of what might have happened in the past, and it's interesting. It's fun to do.
The stuff that doesn't get recorded is, what is the everyday person doing? What are, how do they spend their time? You sometimes find a diary that'll tell you that, but it's really what archaeology is for is, what it's bringing to life the everyday. Almost everything we found is in the top.
I mean, kind of just finding anything is really exciting. I remember my first find was a piece of yellow painted asphalt, and it was like, oh my gosh. I mean, it's just like from the road, so I would say that's probably the most exciting part.
Let's start with the clear window glass. That'll be number 1539. One of the things that I think that I've found that I really love here is getting to know the people in the communities where we work. Just the idea that our students not only can come out and do real field research and get real training and career experience, but that our students can also become engaged with the communities that they're working in and get to know the people in those communities. And it is literally invaluable.